water, that top-down H2O. Can you explain that to our listeners?
Yeah, so we call water top-down H2O because it's an acronym that helps people to institute H2O centered processes from a leadership perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And what water stands for is, W is well-defined objectives. So it's helpful to ourselves and others when we have very clear objectives.
Mm-hmm.
The A in water is aligned goals. It's helpful to ourselves and others to align our goals with our objectives. The T in water is team ownership and buy-in, because it's helpful to ourselves and others to get team ownership and buy-in. And a lot of what you listed previously about the 8 components of H2O is about
Mm-hmm.
co-creation, because
Very good.
co-creation leads to team ownership and buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
The E in water is execution. It's helpful to ourselves and others when we execute our goals on deadline and at high levels of quality. And finally, the R in water is reward. It's helpful to ourselves and others when the experience of goal pursuit and objective fulfillment is rewarding to as many people as frequently as possible.
Very good. And thereby it obviously ensures the elongation and the pursuit of that then. And
so Teresa, let me add in, if you don't mind. The way I think about it is top-down water is what the organization needs to be structured like to be effective. And STEAM is what the individual in an organization brings to be effective as a part of that organization. That organization could be a married couple. That organization could be a non-governmental organization. It could be a corporation. It could be a family. So organization is used very, very broadly, but the notion is, regardless of what type of organization it is, if the organization does not create and sustain water, then no individual in the organization can be an effective, consistent participant in the organization's mission.
And I suppose you could draw the comparison: the deprivation of water leads to stagnation. And
nice.
Yeah.
And Teresa, that really gets to the contrasting acronyms we use: H2O and dry. So stagnation would be a result that doesn't reward you and me. So that would be a dry result. So
Absolutely.
That's perfect in terms of what you've been talking about throughout the
it's very far-reaching. It's very deep and far-reaching. This takes time. I don't even know if this discussion does it justice, but it's a taster. And in terms of STEAM training, then it's bottom up, so the STEAM rises. Yeah.
Yes. So the one of the themes we already talked about, the feedback loop between and amongst the family system, the education system, and the work system. And now we're talking about what we call the water STEAM feedback loop.
Sure.
The more water we provide people in our organizations, whether those are classrooms, families, workplaces, the easier it is for people to cultivate STEAM, and vice versa. So the more people who come to our organizations with STEAM, the more likely it is that they will, in some cases, even manage up to help their leaders who might not be water-centered to become better at their water. So it really is an important feedback loop, and you can enter into any system from either of those places. Obviously, the best way to do it is from both of those places: boosting water in leadership, boosting STEAM in everybody else.